So it's pretty much done. I took it outside in the sun and in the air, let this dry out there for a little bit. This thing turned out just exactly how I wanted it to. I mean, if you guys can see, like, there's hints of yellow and red and everything in just the face of this after adding that black stain. So it looks really nice. The dark brown turned out looking just how I wanted it to. There's a little bit of a black patch there. I don't know if that was just something with the grain that must have happened where it just absorbed a bunch of the brown. But this is pretty much done. So I'm going to take it inside, set up inside with the camera so we're not just out here in my garage, and start assembling this thing in there. A little teaser, which I've already done this before, and it looks so good. So I just kind of faux put the neck in here. I mean, that's what we're looking at. So it looks really nice. I'm excited. I know my face and my emotions probably aren't really showing a whole lot, but I'm actually very excited about this. So I'm going to go ahead and pack up whatever I need to inside here, haul it all inside, hopefully set up on my dining room table maybe, and start assembling all of the pieces that came in the hardware kit, and I'll show you guys how I do that, as well as get everything set up. I don't have strings. There were some that came with it, but I don't really want to use those. So I'll probably be, which I think I have an order coming either today or tomorrow, I'll be installing them and then maybe playing a little bit for you guys, maybe not, I'm not sure yet. But yeah, this is what we're looking at currently, is this little setup for this 8-string. Alright. Alright, so I'm all set up inside the house. I've got everything kind of laid out where it should be at. There's only one other thing that I'm going to do that I usually do with some of the builds that I do, and that is I line the insides where the pickups and all the other stuff go with copper tape. It's an insulator so that way the electronics aren't sitting there humming, because it stops it from making a lot of extra noise it doesn't need to have. So all I do is just I line these pockets here where the pickups go, and on the inside of where all the electronics go, I just line this. This will help alleviate any extra humming. It is humbuckers that are going in here, but I just like having an extra layer of protection in there as well. So all I pretty much do is just measure out about the size of the hole, and then this stuff is thin enough you can just pretty much tear it. So you can tear a straight line. You just take your piece and then you peel, and then you're just going to stick it in. Now there are spots where the electronics have to pass through inside of these holes, so you just kind of want to make sure that you're able to pass those electronics through still. And this doesn't have to be perfect. You can be as precise as you'd like, but something is better than nothing. So you don't really have to have a whole lot in here. Again, you don't really need these at all. I usually do this on most of my builds, so I'm going to be doing it anyways, just for repetition's sake as well. I just buy this stuff on Amazon. Depending on which videos and stuff go up, when and where, I'll have, probably in the first one, I'll have descriptions and stuff of all the things that I've used for working on this build. Yeah, and I'll put that in the description of the video as well, in case you try and repeat what I do. So I just do the wall, I do the flat face, I do the other wall if I can, I overlap them. Doesn't hurt anything. Like I said, this isn't really a necessary step, I like having it in there either way. So, 1 layer, 2 layer, it's fine, no big deal. Like, can't really get it tight in the corners all that much, so sometimes you just break the tape like I just did. So just put it in there, mash it down a little bit. You're just coating it. Some people do paint, or they paint the inside, because they have a conductive paint that you can just run a brush through it and it's usually okay. But I'm okay with using this copper tape. It's fine by me. I'm just going to do this wall. You can't really do one here because there isn't one. So I'm just going to be running it against the wall there and calling it good. Yeah. I don't usually go too high up, so that way I don't have the copper tape showing around the pickups. But yeah. And I've noticed this with a few instruments where I did, like I think the red bass that I'll probably show in one of the videos. That I didn't put copper lining, I don't believe, in, and there is a humming that does come from the pickups or some of the electronics. I'm not positive where it's at, but yeah, I will probably end up going back through that and doing that at some point in time. But it's pretty much what I did. I just put it on the wall inside there, so it just lines that wall and it puts this coating. You can't really tell right now, especially with the poor lighting that I have. Sorry, I'm not good at this. But yeah, so there's a hole here for the electronics that you feed through on both sides. So I want to make sure you can still feed everything into those. So that way it's just a straight pass through of that. So pickups are done. And we're going to do this back pocket down here. Just line it, punch through where the stuff has to go through, and that's pretty much it. You can't really do the input, but you'll get the inside where most of your main electronics are. And these electronics, again, I'm just going with what they gave me. This stuff is just plug and play. You just plug it all together and it runs. I've used them a few times in the past, but I'm not really positive if they're really super good. I just know they work. Bellcat, that's what this humbucker is called. Bellcat. So I'm not sure exactly what the name brand was again. If I remember it, I'll add it in the description. If not, I mean, I'm not super concerned about it. So these pieces I'm just going to kind of work in the best that I can. It's an awkward shape, and it's okay. Like I said, nothing's perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't try to be perfect. I just make it work for best for me. So peel a little film off your copper tape, and you just try and line that wall up. And do this one first because this will probably be easier. Line the wall up, push your tape on, and hope it stays. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just line it. You don't even really have to do this step. I just do it because I like to. It's extra security, and then when something's wrong and I don't know what it is, I can be like, well, I know it's not this. So, I'm covering up most of the holes inside here. I'll just take my work blade and go back over them, punch through them once I'm all done. So that's there. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. So like that first piece, it's all crumbly looking, it's fine. It's going to coat it either way. If you don't like this and you want to have that insulation, you can find the paint as well, where you can just paint the inside of this. And everything just kind of just gets coated, and then you have to let the paint dry. But we've done enough staining and painting and all sorts of stuff today. I don't really want to do anymore. So I don't have any either. So I'm going to try and not cover up the big hole here as much for the input. There, that worked perfectly fine. Perfect. So again, just apply it on the walls, mash it down where you can get it. I do the walls usually first and then do the layer on the base, as like a thinner strip because it just makes it a little bit easier for me. Piece and part it together all you want. It's not going to make a huge difference if you did it all as one big string because it's all going to be hidden away anyways. It's just a hidden layer of protection that you just add in for some simple factoring, I guess. I don't know. And then I usually so the holes, I'll usually push them in a little bit further so I know where they are to be exact. You can punch them out either side, but that way it for sure just I know where it's at. That's all I do is I just do a little strip, put it against the wall, run around it, continue on my way. So leave that hole. It's going to be very important. So I'm going to try and not really cover that one up as much because that is for the bridge. Let's see. I can do this here. There. Open up the little hole for the grounding pin for the bridge. So there is a grounding wire that you're supposed to hook up to your bridges, so that way the guitar is grounded. If not, you can get shocked while you're playing. So I've still been experimenting with these because I haven't used their kits a whole lot. But my other one that I did use their stuff for, it worked. But again, the humming, I don't know if it was the copper or if the grounding wire wasn't seated right. But there's another hole in here, so I'm just going to cut a little X inside there. And then that way I can push it in and make sure that my wires can come in there as they need to. Yeah, they're grounding wires. I haven't usually tried to yet. I think on this one, if I do have that problem, because they only give you a very small, see if I can get this to focus, a little bit there to show, which I may take a little more off of this wire, and I'll probably end up trying, I don't know yet, soldering it to the actual bridge. So one last little strip here, and then we're going to do one big piece on the bottom of it, possibly maybe just a thinner strip. So let's see if I can make these mash together nicely. Big fingers are not best for this, and I have big fingers, but I can do it, you can do it. Just gotta know how to work around things. So that's there. Where's my hole? Is this it? It's right there. Again, I just make a little X kind of with the knife inside, and we're good to go. I also puncture these. So one more final, we'll do just a long strip like this. That should be plenty for this. Alright, should cover up the last of everything in there. Alright. For the volume and tone areas, I'm trying to take out just a little bit of the copper coating tape, so that way I don't just have it sitting underneath and rubbing against where I don't want it to. And then obviously where my three-way selector is going to be at, I just need to slip through that. Alright. And there we go. Like I said, doesn't have to be perfect, but it's copper lined now, so it should reduce some stuff. If not, then you just maybe missed a spot or something. So that's all done on the front. This is all done on the back. Now we're going to get into parts. And let's see what my video's doing. I'm doing about 13 minutes. I think that would take that long. I guess it did. So, where are we going to start? Are we going to start in the neck or the body? Probably the neck will be the easiest for me. We'll just do that because all this body stuff's going to have a lot of extra moving parts. So we're going to do that in this next chunk. So, the neck. I'm going to try and do this in the most convenient way possible so that way everything can be seen. Get some of this copper stuff off my mat so it doesn't scratch up the guitar. So, let's see. My battery's dying. Great. Alright, so we're getting into the neck. This is actually going to be probably the easier of most of it. It's just putting in screws and stuff together. So it looks like, so that's our truss rod cover here. And those three screws that go into it. These are all of our tuners. I don't know how these tuners are going to work, but we're definitely going to find out. They should be alright. All the screws are in here with this stuff. Yes. So, do these have any distincting parts? R1, R5, R4. L2, L3, L6, L5, R6. 1, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 5, 6. There was a manual. Let me check it. Just to make sure. This is who Beck's gear. This was the kit that I bought. E-Guitar kit HS style. I'm going to check this in here just to make sure the assembly part. Find out if there's any distinctions between these. Assembling tuners. Before attaching the neck to the body, fit the tuning machine heads to the headstock by inserting the threaded through the pre-drilled holes and setting washers and bush over it. Screw down the bushing onto the small thread until yada yada yada. So, okay, nothing. I don't think it matters, but we're going to go from the top being our smaller number to the bottom being our higher number, 6. So 2 to 6, however we're going to do that, I believe. So this will get inserted in here. Maybe. Or does it have to go the other way? Nope. They're going to go all in like this. Maybe not. I don't know. These are different than most of like the tuners I would use. So let me check one other thing. So this was on this one. So we're going to flip all these around. Screw holes at the bottom. So we're definitely going to want our higher post at the back and the lower post at the front. So 1 and 6 are showing approximately the same height, it looks like. So it must not matter. which one is higher or lower. I guess not. So all you're going to do is you're just going to take an insert and then press in to the headstock. You want to be very careful, be gentle. If there's a lot of extra, you want to just resistance, you just want to take it slow. So we're gonna press all these in. The only other thing I can think of that might be helpful is using just a little bit of oil or some type of lubricating substance to make sure these all get pressed in as they should be. And once you have them in, you want to line the screws on the back. There's screw holes back there, right here. You want to make sure those are lined up as relatively close as you can get them. So we're just going to continue to take and press them in. They don't seem to be super tough, but there is quite a bit of resistance, which is good because we don't want these spinning around while we're trying to assemble the rest of the guitar and putting strings in and stuff. So that looks good. Those actually look fairly in line for what it is. So we're going to do the other side now, starting up at the top, our lower number. Pressing them in. Those are really close. Right there. Those are very, very, very close for the screws. That's okay. I don't think it would make a difference. No, it doesn't make much of a difference if you swapped them out. I think I have it going the right way. Not, then I'll have to change it all, which is fine. So we can continue to press these in, making sure that our holes are lined up relatively close. Alright, all of our tuning pegs are inserted through the headstock. Next comes assembling all of these. I'm going to sort these pieces out real quick, just so that we don't have mixed match of everything everywhere. So, alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these pieces, which are small threaded bits that have a wrench size on the top. We're going to make sure a washer goes either through or on top of this peg, probably just on top. We're going to insert them, and then we're just going to do finger tight for now, or at least just get them on. So there is a right and wrong way to put these washers on. You want the rounded edge facing up. If you have the flat edge or the more matte color, you're going to want that facing towards the actual headstock. And we're just going to do that for all 8 of these. Yeah, you want more of the gloss showing on the headstock and the matte color facing the headstock. So we're just going to put the rest of these on, gloss up, and we can just insert and tighten to our desired finger amount, just like this. You want to be careful too, you do not want to cross thread them, and this one feels kind of odd, so I just want to make sure that it's going to be going in properly. Let's see if we can switch these, maybe that's the problem. Make sure it's not just the piece. If it is, that's okay. Maybe, just maybe, I'm shaking hands to get this washer off. Yeah, it's a little, sitting a little funny in there. Let's see if I can move that with my thumb, and we'll try again. There we go. Alright. So, now that we've got these in, I didn't bring any wrenches inside with me, which is a shame. It's okay. That's why I'm recording all of this, is because I can stop it in chunks and keep going when I'm ready. So, I'm gonna go find a wrench and I will be back. Alright, I am back. I didn't go all the way out to the garage. I just got a crescent wrench, an adjustable one, that I had in my kit for all my tools for guitar stuff. I'm just gonna get this to about the size that I need it to. Now, because this is black hardware and I want to just make sure that I'm going to do this as gingerly as I can, because I don't want to scratch up the hardware a whole lot. My preference, not a big deal to me. I'm not going to be too picky if I scratch it. It's okay. I just want to keep it as clean as I can get. It's feeling tighter. And this is all I'm going to do is just tighten them down until I feel that they're tight enough, which doesn't take a whole lot. I just don't want these to loosen up as I'm playing. As far as I know at the moment, I don't believe there are torque specs for this. So I just go tight to where I know that it's not going to break loose too easily. It's a lot harder than a regular 6-string because these posts are relatively close to each other, and there's a lot more than just a standard 6. So yeah, I'm just doing this as a super jank way. If I had an actual wrench, it would probably be a lot easier for me, especially the wrenches that I have, but I'm doing with what I got in the house. So, which is fine. Again, you don't need to go super tight with these. Just get them snug. As far as I know, you'll be okay if you get them just snug. I want them about the same equal pressure against every single one of them. So I'm just shoring up this whole side before I move on there to make sure they're all about equal with how tight they are. Make sure it's tight before you turn the deal in. Yeah. Alright. I'll get back to you guys as soon as these are all tight.